Claire was a force of nature, a brilliant and charismatic girl who could light up the room when she entered it. Her laughter and jokes were infectious, and everyone at school adored her. But it wasn't just her personality that shone. Claire was also a straight-A student, always punctual and eager to learn. She thrived in the nurturing environment of our small apartment where we lived on the third floor with a balcony. The balcony was Claire's sanctuary, a green oasis in the heart of the city. She poured her heart and soul into it, cultivating plants of all kinds in every nook and cranny. From beans to apples to grapes, she grew everything imaginable, using cups and bottles and any available space to create a lush garden that overflowered with life. Claire was never without her tomato timer, which she carried everywhere she went, and she wore only green Converse sneakers, her signature look. Her purple bag was her constant companion, the finishing touch to her unique and vibrant style. But for all her joy and exuberance, Claire was also fiercely determined. She had dreams and goals that she pursued with a tenacity that was awe-inspiring. She never gave up, never settled for less than what she believed she deserved. It was that Claire became a shining example of what a person can achieve with hard work, passion, and an unwavering spirit. She was a true inspiration to all who knew her, a beacon of hope in a world that so often seems dark and daunting. As Claire grew older, her love for the amusement park never faded. She would often spend hours gazing out at the park from our balcony, her eyes fixed on the colourful rides, and I always enjoyed watching her from the balcony as she rode around and around on the swan ride, her face beaming with joy. Despite my best efforts, I could never give Claire the life I wanted for her. I worked long hours at the local grocery shop, barely making enough to get by, but I had a dream of buying a house with a garden, a place where Claire could grow all the plants she wanted and truly be happy. I had saved up some money, but it was nowhere near enough to make that dream into reality. Still, I held on to hope that someday we would have that house. In the meantime, I took comfort in seeing the joy on Claire's face as she rode her beloved swan ride. We thought it would be another ordinary day. I headed off to work while Claire went to school. However, as the day progressed, we began to realize the gravity of the situation. The war had started, and gas clouds had descended over the city. It was unlike anything I had ever seen before. People who were touched by the gas began turning into something else entirely. They were no longer themselves. I was on my way to pick up Claire from school when I saw it with my own eyes. People were changing right in front of me. It was a nightmare come true. I ran as fast as I could towards Claire's school. As I turned the corner, I saw children running amok, biting and eating each other, their parents and even their teachers. It was pure chaos. As I got to the school, my heart sank when I saw Claire in the distance, swinging by herself with her purple backpack. I followed her, but as I got closer, I could see that something was wrong. She didn't notice me until I was right behind her, and when she turned around, I saw that her eyes were red and her mouth was covered in blood. She didn't look like my Claire at all. Suddenly, she lunged at me, trying to bite me with incredible strength. I picked her up and ran out of the school as fast as I could, but she was still struggling and trying to attack me. Eventually, she bit me so hard that a chunk of my flesh came off and I had to let her go. She kicked me in the stomach and I fell to the ground, gasping for air. As I looked up, I saw that she was coming straight at me, making these horrible guttural noises that I'd never heard before. I knew then that I had to run and leave her behind, even though it broke my heart. Crying. I rushed home, my heart pounding in my chest. As I stumbled through the door, I tried to bandage up my wound, but my mind was in a complete haze. All I could see were flashes of Claire's face, her eyes turning red, her mouth covered in blood. It was like a nightmare come to life. And then, as I tried to gather my thoughts, I noticed that I was still carrying Claire's backpack on my shoulder. I opened it up and saw her tomato timer and shoes inside. It was as if she had left them for me to find. In that moment, I knew I had to leave the apartment and get as far away as possible.